Rebounds. You got guys that just long arms, are lanky.
It's an athletic team, so that'll be a challenge for Bellermaine tonight, but nothing they're not used to in this league. Here's Devontae Blanton, EKU's leading scorer.
Great pass.
Finds Moreno. Missed the fade inside.
Good look by Blanton. Just always in control. They didn't finish there, but
strong start here for Bellermaine. Couple of threes. And a tipped-in fade that hit from the free throw line. Knight scored just 49 points last game against Lipscomb. Looking better today.
Suter's trying to back down a linebacker.
Almost succeeded. Betts open in the corner. Hits this one. Bellermaine's on fire to start. Bellermaine's on fire to start. What do you like about their offense right now?
A little bit of the game against Lipscomb, when I talked to assistant coach Doug Davenport, they were getting good looks. They just weren't making them. And it's like, you can't coach balls in. You either gotta make them and you gotta execute, Jack.
They're making them right now. Bellermaine up by 9 early against EKU. Twice last year, and Nick Bellermaine dominated in the first half at Freedom Hall. They led by 20. Alec Freem, CJ Fleming, big games. But the second game in Richmond, EKU had the first punch and ran away down in Richmond, Kentucky.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, these teams are so different that it's like, what games is it going to flow the way Bellermaine wants to play, and it's kind of more half court, you got to execute more, or is it going to play more Eastern Kentucky, and we're going to have more possessions and more shots and more rebounds? Early on, it's kind of playing Bellarmine's game, but the game's a lot easier when you make shots, Jack, and Bellarmine's made 3 threes, and they're on pace for almost 90 points. That's going into EKU's game, but I think Bellarmine's got the pace where they want it, and we'll see if EKU can kind of, coming out of that first timeout, get settled down a little bit and get some good shots.
Yeah, Colonel's still feeling their way around this game, and that's one way to get right into it. Cooper Robb from the corner.
Kind of lean on your veterans a little bit after that timeout, kind of calm the nerves. Cooper Robb's been a guy that's been here multiple years at EKU, and he's played here multiple times, so he's comfortable in this environment, this situation.
6-year senior's been great. He's been a 3-and-D guy for them. They make 9 to 10 threes a game, which is top 20 in the country. They will put him up about 26 attempts a game. Betts had that stolen. Second steal for EKU tonight.
A big stat to watch is the turnovers for Bellarmine. If they can keep it under 13, I'd say it's probably right around there. They'll probably have a good chance of winning. If EKU forces them to 15 or 16, it's going to favor Eastern Kentucky.
That was a clean step back right there for Comer. Comer averaging only 6 points a game, more of a facilitator at 4 assists per game, but he is very talented out of Indianapolis. Dardan Kapiti, number 15 in black for EKU, just checked into the game at 6'10".
Be interesting to watch with EKU with 2 freshman point guards on the court at the same time. They're really good players. They're really good players. How are they going to play? They can be settled, controlled, and so far they have been.
Well, EKU's starting to play a lot better right now. Down 11-2 going into the break. They have the last 5. Here's Moreno. Size advantage on Johnson.
See if Bellarmine looks to bring the double.
12 points a game for Moreno. Muscles it over the top. Michael Moreno, just 3 points last game against Austin Peay. A tough offensive game for the Colonels, even though they won. Has his first 2 tonight.
Absolutely. Was very patient. Took advantage of the mismatch. Saw he had a guard on him. Bellarmine didn't double.
7-0 run for EKU, and here they come. Robb, Walker for 3. And Johnson has the rebound.
3 on 2 if you go.
It's Tipton with the right for 2. Garrett Tipton's having a great season, 12 points a game, 5th-year senior, his breakout year.
Absolutely. And if you're Bellarmine there, yes, you want to play slow, but if Eastern Kentucky's going to kind of press and try to trap in the backcourt, you got to take advantage and you got to make them pay for playing that type of defense.
Right, got the easy bucket in transition. Here's Leland Walker, best friends with Tayshawn Comer. Those are the 2 guards out there, both from Indianapolis. Comer draws the foul.
Talk about 2 freshman guards that can play. 3-star recruit, 4-star recruit, and a 4-star true freshman playing. I mean, that's impressive, and it's a huge win for Coach A.W. Hamilton to get those type of players here. It just kind of builds your program and what you're about, and bringing other guys that are that talented into your program. And you can see how much it's helped them from last year to this year, the success they're having with the 2 freshman point guards playing.
Yeah, Comer's the 3-star. He's the starting point guard, but as you've seen, Walker's out there now. They'll play together. And Walker's the 4-star guy out of Indianapolis, played his last year at Hargrave Military Academy. Walker, number 2 there, talking to Devontae Bland, but best friends in AAU growing up. Great chemistry, about the same size, almost down to their weight, 185 and 190, but they can penetrate, they're shifty, and they've brought some juice to this program.
Absolutely. And if you have 2 guards, I know they're not necessarily smaller. They're 6'1", but 2 kind of point guards. But if you have 2 guards that can go, you've looked at college basketball in their history, especially just if you look in Louisville, their national championship year, they had Peyton Siva and Russ Smith, both 6'1" guards. You had the great years with UConn, with Shabazz Napier and Kemba Walker. You can get away and you can win with 2 guards if they can score and get up and down the court.
Well, guess what? They just brought a 3rd point guard into the game, and Turner Buttrey, part of that freshman class, the reigning Kentucky Mr. Basketball. They are pressuring Bellermaine here. Johnson on the drive, shoots over Capiti for 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. If Eastern Kentucky wants to pressure you out midcourt, you got to make them pay and you got to get to the rim.
Johnson's been more willing to go inside recently.
Absolutely. As a freshman, redshirt freshman, really his first year playing, early he's known as a shooter. But as people kept closing out, making him shoot farther and farther, he's developed his game to be a scorer from all 3 levels.
EKU settle in, but like you said, Nick, he's willing to go inside. And Bellermaine's up 4. Eastern Kentucky head coach A.W. Hamilton certainly knows how to market his program. The 40 most exciting minutes of basketball, that's what he calls it. They play fast, they press, they shoot a ton of threes, and he said, hey, that style honestly sells itself to the recruits, and they've started to bring in those highly rated recruiting classes thanks to this style of play.
Absolutely. And that style and that speed, it allows for multiple people to play. It's not just 5 guys and you got 3 or 4 guys averaging 20 points. That's not this Eastern Kentucky team. They're going to go 9, 10 deep because they're going to play so many possessions. They're always going to be full of energy and they're going to be fresh. And it allows more people to play and more people to feel like they're involved.
Hey, if you're a young guy, if I know I can shoot threes, play up and down like we did in AAU, it's hard not to like. And Eastern Kentucky's been able to use that. Helped themselves get into a strong start to this season at 6-2. Johnson stepped on the sideline there.
I will be a proponent of extending the college basketball width of the floor from 52 to 54 feet. They keep extending the 3-point line back, but you have nowhere to stand on the corner.
Yeah, it's about
I digress.
2 to 3 feet there in the corner to find some space for that corner 3. Johnson, the latest victim. Offensive foul.
Moved into him when he threw his kind of that moving screen. Did a good sell job by Suter to get it. Bellermaine is known kind of get 1 or 2 of those a game.
This is freshman on freshman here. Suter actually kind of ran into him and then flew back. So again, Eastern Kentucky and Leland Walker off to a great start this year at 6-2 in the conference. Colonels trying to move to 7-2 near the halfway point of the conference season. This has been a resurgent year for them after going 5-11 last year. Suter muscling inside. Here's Suter again. Coming off an ankle injury. Looks strong so far tonight. It's Hope for 3. Suter the O-board. Outside Suter. What about his second 3?
He shot that one with confidence, just didn't get to go.
Doesn't look too hobbled out there. Capiti with a couple of inches on Hope in the post. The FAU transfer. Steps to his left and finishes.
2 good moves in there by the post players. Patient, up and under. And this little pressure here is kind of squeezing Bellarmine's ability to pass the ball. Be interested to see if Bellermaine can take advantage of it.
Got an open 3. Johnson off the mark, but Suter's there again. No look, Freem. Off the heel of Betts. 3rd chance here for the Knights.
Bellermaine's given EKU a little bit of their own medicine for being, Bellermaine isn't known to be the offensive rebounding team. EKU's the best in the conference at it.
4-0 on the offensive boards for Bellermaine against, like you said, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country.
Yeah, and it's hard. Bellermaine's shooting a lot of threes. They're not rebounds that are coming right by the hoop. They're long rebounds. It requires all 5 of your defenders to block out. It's not your big guys that are reaching over. It's really the guards got to make sure they put a body on him.
That is a stat to pay attention to throughout the game, though. Betts will post up quite a bit. He's on the face-up now.
There's a mismatch somewhere.
Johnson weaving inside, 5 to shoot. Hof has got to go. Finds Betts, partially blocked. Kozart got it.
Good defense by the center out on Bellarmine's point guard.
Walker pull-up 3, drills it. We said they're not afraid to fire. That was a quick trigger for Walker.
You can see Eastern Kentucky's trying to speed Bellarmine up.
Weren't able to do that there.
But they're pressuring every pass, every ball. If you're Bellarmine, you just got to be strong with it and avoid deflections. And if you're EKU, you just need to have active hands.
Kozart on the roll, able to control. You see the tempos for both of these teams. Top 20% in the country in possessions per game for Eastern Kentucky. They like to get up and down while Bellarmine likes to take the shot clock deep. Kozart, second chance, no. He tipped it to himself. Buttry feeds Yukamado. They whip it around the wheel for Buttry.
Good extra pass.
Missed for a second time.
Let's see if the Mr. Basketball from 2 years ago can hit it.
And Johnson still 0 from downtown.
The last 2 shots were the 2 last Kentucky Mr. Basketballs.
Yep.
Turning Buttry for EKU.
An explosive move to the hole for Leland Walker. He's starting to catch fire here in the first.
Could see why he was rated very highly as a 4-star out of high school. He's got an explosive first step.
EKU retakes the lead. Ever since Bellarmine led 11-2, we reached that first media timeout. Colonels have settled in.
Absolutely. They've got a couple rebounds there on that last possession. They've taken pretty good shots. They've a couple post entries. They've got it inside, made a couple threes, get a drive to the basket. I mean, there's a reason that they're 6-2 and in the top fourth of the conference in the A-Sun.
A.W. Hamilton knew it. If his team stayed healthy, they would be competitive in the top half this year, despite being picked 10th. That's been the case so far. 8.5 to go in the first. EKU up 2. Here's Tipton, and he's called for the charge. Cooper Robb took it.
Yeah, good job by Robb, kind of getting in position and waiting for Bellarmine to make the move. I don't like that call all the time, but he sold it.
Cooper Robb is very confident in his defensive abilities. He said, I'm the best defensive player in the league. He said that multiple times. I'm sure Justin Betts would disagree, but we've got 2 of the best out there tonight with Robb and Betts. Walker a deep 2, no.
Both similar in the way they play. I mean, they're hard-nosed. They're first ones on the floor.
Blocking foul this time on Robb as he tried to step in front of Suter. And that is his first personal. A.W. Hamilton making his case there on the far sideline. Hand on the back of the official. Touching the official is okay when it's that nice little pat, right?
When you're smiling at him.
Pass inside off the hands of Hope. Eastern Kentucky leading by 2 early in the first half. A.W. Hamilton squad having a good year. Have the lead early at Freedom Hall. Garrett Tipton and the Bellarmine Knights down by 2 to Eastern Kentucky. 8 minutes left in the first half here. Garrett now in his 5th season having a breakout year. That's him and his brother Trent, who's a golfer at West Virginia. They're in Cabo there. That sounds pretty nice this time of year, doesn't it? But Garrett comes from a golf family. His dad loves to golf. Trent's obviously a great golfer. And we always see Garrett. He's so calm out there, right? You have to be so mentally tough to golf well. His dad was a football coach as well, so he pushed them growing up. That's a big reason why Garrett's the calmest guy on the floor constantly.
Absolutely. And this is a breakout year for for Garrett. You know, said senior, leading scorer for Bellermaine, a guy that Bellermaine needed to step up this year with so many of their top scorers last year leaving, and he's answered the bell.
And he's called for the foul there. Cooper Robb, a three-point play chance. Now, Tipton won't be phased, like we said, but that was an impressive move from Robb.
It's just patience. You know, EQA, like you said, after that first 4-minute stretch, they've been kind of just settled down. They're playing more their style. They're making the extra pass when needed, taking it to the rim, being aggressive when needed. And kind of, you know, it was, what, 11-2? You know, it's a big run that they put on since, you know, the first 4 minutes.
20-6 spurt for Eastern Kentucky. Their tempo is starting to take control in this game. And we talked about that being a big factor early.
It's one way for Bellermaine to break it, to bring your big guy back, to see if you can back drain that guard, to release some pressure off your point guard.
Here's Suter.
But what it's doing is it's making Bellermaine not be able to run 20 passes and kind of get that opening, because by the time they get it over half court, they don't have 30 seconds left. They might only got 21.
Yeah, those ball reversals not nearly as easy tonight. Comer leaves the three short, and it's out of bounds.
We'll see it again here. So that way, when Bellermaine gets it over, they're taking 8 or 9 seconds every time to get it over. That it's harder for Bellermaine to kind of get that, catch Eastern and being able to have a breakdown. We'll see if Bellermaine, when they get over half court, if they look to quickly attack the rim and take it, you know, you gotta make Eastern pay for having 4 guys 84 feet from the basket right now. You gotta go.
Now Suter's going across half court. Cross court Johnson still has not hit a 3 tonight. Attacks the rack instead and draws the foul. Let's go to Olivia, who is in the EKU huddle.
Hey guys, Coach Hamilton was telling his team this is a game about rebounds. Earlier I heard him really frustrated that they were giving Bellermaine too many offensive rebounds, but lately the Colonels picked up some momentum here, and he said they're doing a great job of getting stops. They've got to talk some more on D, but keep getting those stops, and he likes how they're sharing the ball, finding the open man, and making those shots now. Jack and Nick?
Yeah, he feels like their ball movement and the shot efficiency this year, Nick, is way better than last year.
Absolutely. And that's what, you know, you get a couple new players, you get a couple new ball handlers. You know, even though they're freshmen in Butchery and Comer and Walker, they have 3 of them. They play a lot wiser than their years. And, you know, as you can see as the season goes on, you know, right about this point in the year, they're not really freshmen anymore. They're getting closer to that sophomore. You know, they've been in the program. They've had a semester in college. They're getting used to being away if they leave school. So, yeah, I mean, you can just see the way they pass the ball. That's another one right there.
Finds Kozart for the jam. What a feed from Walker. And he gets the poke away.
And this is what I said. So EKU is going to extend this pressure after we see the dunk here by Kozart. EKU is going to extend the pressure. They're going to take a bunch of risks. They're going to try to steal the ball. And if you're Bellermaine, when you break this, you got to make a team pay for pressing. You got to take that 3-on-2 or 4-on-3 or 2-on-1 and get layups. If not EKU, you can just gamble for everything in the backcourt.
They've got 3 steals so far tonight. And Bellermaine with 6 turnovers. They only average 12 a game. Suter breaks it. That's a deflection. It'll stick with Bellermaine.
Almost looked like Suter could have just turned and laid it up, but I couldn't. We were blocked out a little bit.
You're right, though, with the press. It's a little bit feast or famine for EKU, but it's been more feast the last 5 to 10 minutes. Bellermaine doesn't look nearly as comfortable as they did the first 3 to 4.
And Landon Hacker in the game. Bellarmine's got its 2 most pure shooters, in Johnson and Hacker, and see if they can kind of get some points on the board.
Here's Hacker. Rattles out from the corner, and it's going back to EKU.
A good look by Hacker. It's what they bring him in for, to make threes, and, you know, he's been making them lately.
Well, he was before last game. He was 0 for 6 against Lipscomb. He was shooting 63% from downtown before that rough game. In his defense, everybody for Bellermaine missed that game. They were 2 for 27. Their worst 3-point shooting game in 5 years.
This is a little bit of this couple minutes here for Bellermaine that they got to stay connected to EKU. They can't let EKU go on a little 6-0 run here. They got to make a run, see if they can get it closer to a tie game by halftime.
Yeah, this is an explosive offense averaging 80 points a game. Knights haven't hit a three since the opening few minutes. Betts a deep one. Leaves it short. And Moreno pulls it away. Betts behind the play. Walker, Rob, right back to Walker. Three. And Moreno the O-board.
Great pass.
Rob, lob, Cozart, no. Couldn't connect there as Cozart went for his second dunk. Johnson's wide open. He got his first three. Johnson's been going inside more tonight. Good to see him hit one from the outside.
That was a big possession for Bellermaine. EKU had multiple chances to go up by 8 or 9 points. Missed an opportunity. Hit a good look at three. Missed the alley-oop. Bellermaine pays on the other side with three.
Moreno's open, though. Zip out from Cozart. Hacker fighting for it. It'll stay with the Colonels. Nick, Scott Davenport always talks about hustle plays, and they chart deflections. There's 5 different ways to get a deflection. Bellarmine's down by 3, but they are hustling more here in the first half than some previous games.
Yeah, that was a good hustle. I couldn't really tell that was off of. I think Bellermaine would have liked it to be off of EKU, but it looked like they almost simultaneously touched the ball.
Right. We don't see the coaching staff in suits too often. Coaches versus cancer, that's why they're wearing the suits tonight. Ever since COVID, really, they've been wearing the polos. Capiti with the lefts. Off the heel, another chance for EKU. It's Comer. Got it this time.
We said before the game, offensive rebounds, that possession, EKU gets 3 chances. The last possession down, they got 2 possessions.
Better press break.
Yep, and you got to go make them pay and get a layup. Just like that. You got to come down and really just force them to the rim.
Eastern Kentucky looks really good right now. Up by 6 and hitting some threes, too. This is a Bellarmine team that's been playing shorthanded almost the entire season. Justin Betts came back from a hip injury late in the non-conference. Pete Suter coming off an ankle injury. This is his first game back. Zach Jennings out for the year. Nick Thielen probably done for the year. Bash Whelan trying to get back in the mix. He was a starter for this team. Ben Johnson with an ankle injury. Garrett Tipton's had multiple sprained ankles, but he hasn't missed a game yet. Nick, this has been an unusually tough season injury-wise for Bellarmine.
Absolutely, and it's not just what you're missing in games. Suter missed last weekend. Betts missed a game against UCLA. Ben Johnson's missed a game. The bottom 4, Comer, Whelan, Thielen, Jennings missed multiple games. It's what you're missing in practice. They don't have 10 guys to practice. You can't go 5-on-5 half the time. And when you're bringing in freshmen, Bellarmine's playing multiple freshmen, multiple redshirt freshmen, you need practice. And that's kind of the missing thing. It's like, yeah, you like to have them for the game, but it's the whole week you don't have them.
Scotty has made a point of that, the head coach for Bellarmine, multiple times. Practice has been limited, not to mention the team dismissed Jalen Fairman, so there's another body gone. It's been a tough going for them, but they've been able to fight through and play well for the most part. Tayshawn Comer and EKU really started to get it going. 10 points for Comer in the first half. 10 points for Comer in the first half.
I mean, almost 20 of their 30 points are by their freshman guards.
Don't look like freshmen. Oh. Suter tried to thread it through. Out of bounds off EKU. Eastern Kentucky. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, with Bellarmine right now, they really don't have a true 5. Kurt Ho's playing the 5, but he's more of a stretch 5. What Bellarmine's got to do is take advantage of EKU having a true 5. They have a true big man out there. You got to take him and put him in space, and that's number 15, Darden Capiti. I think I got it right. Pretty close.
Capiti. FAU transfer. FAU's great this year, by the way. Ranked number 21 in the country, so obviously a lot of talent coming from a good mid-major program, and he's added some valuable minutes off the bench. There's another foul.
And we'll see. I imagine Bellermaine's going to look and see, can we put him in a pick and roll? Can we get him? I wouldn't be surprised to see Kurt Hof to get a three-point look on this possession. It's down to a 1-and-1, but the next time down that they're going to look to get some type of pick and pop option for him.
That foul was on John Yukamoto, junior from Southfield, Michigan, and a Macomb Community College transfer. Very athletic combo forward. Here's the freshman Peter Suter. Off the heel on the first free throw, and Bellermaine's leaving some at the line tonight, Nick.
Yeah, Bellermaine on the year, they're one of the best free throw percentage teams in the conference, 75%. And just hurts when you miss the front end. It's almost like missing 2 free throws.
EKU 63%. They're 4 for 4 tonight. Of course. Under 3 to go here in the first half. EKU up 8. Walker almost made it 11. And Freem pokes it to Betts for Bellermaine.
Bellermaine has numbers here.
Betts finds Hof. Attacks and scores. Some contact there, too.
I would have thought Bellermaine would have got a call there for an and-1. Play on, they say.
Devontae Blanton's been quiet. Leading scorer for Eastern Kentucky draws the foul.
I don't think Bellermaine's bench should be too happy with that, with thinking they got fouled on one end and get a kind of a ticky-tack on the other end. That's a foul. Hit him right on the wrist. Walker did.
Hof hasn't been scoring as much recently. Just 4 points a game over the last 4. But he does a lot that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, too. Just a sophomore, Kurt Hof, playing well. Blanton, make it Yukamoto from the corner. And Johnson has the rebound. Betts slashing inside. Finds Freem, sets his feet, and hits.
And that's what I said. Bellermaine's, you got to take advantage of a true 5 men being out there. He guards Betts on that play. Betts gets right by him and finds Freem for a wide open 3. That's if you're going to play small ball and you're Bellermaine, you really got to, if somebody's going to go out there and say, hey, we're going to play a 6'11", 7-foot guy, 6'10" on you, you got to take advantage of them in transition. Because if you don't, they're going to take advantage of you on the other end on the rebounds.
Well, that was a good look for Freem. Feels like Bellermaine has had those open 3-pointers almost all night.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a theme for Bellermaine the last couple games, weeks, is they're getting great looks. There's some stat tracks you can do after games, and when they had the Lipscomb game, yeah, they shot 2 for 27, but they were unreal looks. They said they were getting quality after quality looks, and they just didn't knock it down. And I think as a coaching staff, you kind of put your hands are saying, what do you do? And nobody's trying to miss it. And all you do the next day is you get in there and you shoot some more and you shoot some more and you shoot some more.
Both these teams shot 14% from 3-point range down in Tennessee. They played Austin Peay and Lipscomb. Each of them did 14% from 3 over those 2 games. And Eastern Kentucky has 4 threes tonight. Bellermaine has 5.
And you look at both these teams, they have multiple shooters. So kudos maybe a little bit to Lipscomb down there that's having a great season and the style of defense they play. Bellermaine's coming out first time with a little 2-3. We'll see if they stay in it. Imagine they might even jump out of it.
Yep, first zone look for Bellermaine defensively tonight. Blanton's open at the elbow and drills it.
Might be the last zone look that they see tonight.
Yeah. A few possessions all year that they've played zone.
You're just trying to do that to just change them up, get EKU's kind of in a little bit of good flow.
Knights have trailed by as many as 8 and led by as many as 9 here in the first half. 90 seconds to play. Suter creates space, finds Freem. Good catch into a 2. And hits.
Great 3s, 2s, 1s there by Alec Freem. Pass was a little high, stayed under control. Shot fake, 1 dribble.
Shot quality tonight for both teams, really good. Still in the range that Bellermaine wants to play, though. Both these teams on track to be in the 60s. Walker, shifty handles, and scores.
Pretty nice crossover there.
These freshman guards for EKU showing up in the first half.
If they can keep this team around a couple years, they're going to be making a lot of noise when they're upperclassmen.
Johnson answers for Bellermaine. 2-point game again.
Going to set a double ball screen for him. There's one. Here's a second.
Right back to Walker. Looking for Kozart. Defers to Blanton. Defers to Blanton.
If you look to switch every screen.
Good defense from Suter.
Big rebound opportunity.
Tight contest, no problem for Blanton.
Just tough shot. If you're Bellermaine, you'll live with that. As a EKU, that's your best player. He's been your most consistent player all year.
One shot here for the Knights. Down by 4. It's Betts. Betts off the shot fake. Drew the foul and one. Crafty move from Justin Betts on the freshman.
That's a 6-year player going against a freshman, and give him a little patience, get him up in the air, finish.
His ability to score inside has elevated this year.
Absolutely. It just stays under control. He's always under control, always under control, always under control.
1 point game, 5 seconds to work with here for Eastern Kentucky.
That's a substitution there that you do right before the half after a free throw to make them throw it out so they can't get a fast break on you underneath out of bounds.
Bellermaine with a foul to give. Hacker fouls Walker.
See if they put Betts right back in.
He's still standing over there. Looks like they're going to keep him out.
He's only played 19 minutes and 56 seconds.
Yeah, he's played all but 3 minutes the last few games. Oh, here he comes.
He got a 1.8 second break this half.
His conditioning is marvelous. 2.3 for EKU. Really well played first half for both these teams. Scotty wants a final word. Here we go. It's Moreno. Fades. Rainbow 3. Just short. EKU up by 1 at halftime. Both teams with sizable leads, but we ended up where we thought we'd be. A close game.
Absolutely. Bellermaine the game of runs that half. First couple minutes, Bellermaine got up. Then EKU made a run. Then the last 3 or 4 minutes, Bellermaine made their run back to bring it to a 1 point game. Olivia
Russell's with Scott Davenport.
Well, Coach, this one really swinging back and forth between who has control in this first half.
Two really good teams. I have no complaints about our team whatsoever. None. Pete's had 1 day of practice, and he's fighting with everything he has. No complaints. Playing as hard as we can play. They are just 2 really good teams. Our league, my 3 years, it's hands down the best it's ever been.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely. That is a sentiment issued by all coaches. Great game tonight. 36-35 EKU. Dudes have been fired up all night, and rightfully so. We have a heck of a game here at Freedom Hall with Eastern Kentucky leading Bellermaine 36-35 at the break. Thanks for joining us at Freedom Hall. Jack Kaiser, Big Dog 24 on Twitter, Nick Holmes. Nick, great game so far. We talked about the tempo right off the top. What do you think of the tempo so far?
I think it's kind of right in the middle. Early it was Bellarmine's tempo where they got up 9. Then all of a sudden EKU brought it to their tempo, brought the press, got up 8. Bellarmaine made a run of late to bring it to a 1 point game. I think it's kind of a combination where it's not either side's really dictating it, and they're kind of just playing in between. It's just a great game where both teams are, Bellarmaine at the end kind of made some shots to get it to 50% from the field, made a couple of threes. EKU's had multiple guys score. We're in for a heck of a second half.
It feels like we've seen both tempos so far in the first half. Bellarmaine right off the top, then EKU settled in. Here we are with a 1 point game at halftime. Great first half. Both teams making shots early as well as late, and both teams making threes too.
I think that's got to be the biggest relief for Bellarmaine, is to see the first 2 3-pointers going in after having just a really tough shooting week last week, going 2 for 27 from 3, and they make their first 2. It kind of just gave them a little spark early on.
EKU settled in, though. Cooper Robb with that 3. Colonels hit 4 in the first half, only 25%, but Tayshawn Comer was fabulous.
Absolutely, and then, the other big thing we talked about before the game was rebounds, and can Bellarmaine keep EKU off the boards? And for the most part, it was kind of dead even.
Yeah.
EKU had five offensive rebounds. Bellermaine 4 or 5, so pretty even on the board. I said, what Coach Davenport said at halftime, this is a well ball game.
Kozart with a big dunk earlier. You saw it there. Leland Walker really started to get it going, too. Walker ended up with 8 points. Him and Comer combining for 18. Devontae Blanton, their leading scorer, a little bit quiet with only 4 points in that first half. But, hey, it was back and forth. Bellermaine, EKU, 2 in-state rivals. Great game here tonight at Freedom Hall. Have more halftime coverage coming up after this. Freedom Hall, what do we have to do to get some ice cream down here at the scorer's table? Bellermaine trailing Eastern Kentucky 36-35 at halftime. Ice cream stats here. Eastern Kentucky and Bellermaine shooting pretty similar early. Bellermaine started to hit more late. They shot 52% in that first half. 3-ball working for both, and Bellermaine started taking the better care of the ball late too, Nick.
Absolutely. And, like you said, Bellermaine 13 for 25, 50%. Looks like 50% of the people in the stands are eating ice cream.
Yep.
But exactly what you said. Bellermaine made some shots late, hit a little stretch early. It's going to be big for the second half to see who kind of exerts their will that first 4 minutes. Bellermaine's been a big team of runs. They go on big droughts, but they also can explode for some points. Same with EKU. So we're going to see, look, 2 people there, 2 people with ice cream.
Yeah, it feels like the first half stats are brought to you by ice cream and Michelob Ultra. That's what we see at halftime constantly. Bellermaine trailing by 1. We've got the second half coming up next.
Look at that mint chocolate chip. Spin that.
EKU leading Bellermaine by 1 at halftime. Just about to get the second half underway here at Freedom Hall. Jack Kaiser, Nick Holmes, Olivia Russell with you tonight. We heard Scott Davenport tell Olivia as he was going to the locker room, hey, the A-Sun's the best it's ever been, especially since Bellermaine joined 3 years ago. There are 8 teams 500 or better in the league. And you look at those top 4, Kennesaw State, Eastern Kentucky, Stetson, all picked in the bottom half of the league, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at these teams and looking at teams on the right side, Bellermaine 4-4, but Jacksonville State 1-7 at the bottom. They won the NCAA tournament last year, and they returned
won the league.
They returned a good amount of their players, and they played in that 15-2 matchup last year versus Auburn in the NCAA tournament first round.
Look at a team like Lipscomb, very dangerous as always. They just beat Bellermaine and Eastern Kentucky down in Nashville. Florida Gulf Coast, a team that won 10 games in the non-conference. They looked like they were going to be right up there with Liberty, but they have struggled with this league so far. It's really, anything could happen. If you get into the A-Sun tournament, only the top 10 out of 14 make it. If you get in, you have a shot.
Absolutely, and Bellermaine showed that last year.
Yes.
Bellermaine had to go in the semifinals, went at Liberty, beat Liberty, play in the finals here at Freedom Hall, and beat Jacksonville, who wasn't even they were the number 2 seeds. So they're both number 1 seeds last year on the divisions, didn't even make it to the finals.
That makes those top 4 seeds even more important because anything can happen in any round, and this is a huge game for Bellermaine to stay in position as we enter the second half of the year to potentially get one of those top 4 seeds again.
Absolutely, and I think Liberty probably wants Bellermaine to stay where they are too. After, and Liberty's, I mean, that's a team that since Bellarmine's joined the league 3 years ago has been the most consistent team in the league. They've been consistently 1 or 2 in the league.
Hands down, it does look like Liberty's the best team in the league to this point, right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
But they're the most veteran team. They returned almost everybody. And they've had a winning culture and great coaching staff. Just had a lot of consistency where some of the other teams like Bellermaine lost a whole bunch of their scoring from last year, where Liberty kind of said, we're basically the same team that we've had 3 years in a row.
EKU had its first year in the A-Sun last season. Did not go well last year. Injuries, sickness took place during January just as they started to get into conference play. A.W. Hamilton said, we were constantly trying to reinvent ourselves last year because of all the bodies that they were missing. This year they've been able to stay healthy. Same starting lineup for 21 of their 22 games, including this one. 6-2 start in league play. They've got a 1-point lead at halftime at Freedom Hall. Michael Moreno struggled in the first half, and he's 1 for 8 now.
And you can talk about consistently for Bellermaine. It feels like every game they're starting a different lineup because somebody else gets hurt. So You know, sometimes years you're fortunate, and I know Coach Davenport, the 2 years that he won a championship in the late 80s at Ballard High School with Allen Houston and company, he started every same starter the whole year, and then when Bellarmine won their national championship, they started the same starting 5. It's the only 2 times in Coach Davenport's career he started the same 5, and he won a championship both years. So there's something to be said about having that camaraderie as a team.
A couple of missed shots by both teams to start the second half here. Yeah, this is the starting lineup that Bellarmine wants to play. Now, Bash Wieland is out. Alec Freem has stepped in for him since conference play rolled around, but this is the starting 5 that Bellarmine hopes to ride with the rest of the year.
And they'll get Bash Wieland back here, hopefully, maybe the next week or 2. Be a big boost for them to kind of, they said, was a starter here, but also just add some more depth. You know, Bellarmine had 4 guys play 17-plus minutes in the first half.
Yeah, it's a short rotation right now. Tipton barely played in the first half and misses the pull-up there.
He had the 2 fouls.
4 points for Bellarmine's leading scorer at 12 a game. Blanton inside Cozart. Hof muscling up against him. Cozart missed. Second effort. No, but a foul.
Good effort there by Cozart. Just kind of bullying his way down there a little bit. Not giving up any position.
We've got some defensive dogs, as the kids like to say nowadays, Nick, with Betts and Hof down there. Cooper Robb for Eastern Kentucky. Offense is playing pretty well right now, but these are 2 pretty talented teams defensively as well.
Absolutely. You know, these free throws, Eastern Kentucky is not one of the better free throw shooting teams. Actually last in the A-Sun, and tonight they haven't missed.
That's how it works, right?
Especially in tight games on the road. Big points.
And Bellarmine's missed 3 so far. 3-point lead for the Colonels. Trying to move to 7-2 in A-Sun play. Nice feed inside to Betts for 2.
Probably one of the first textbook Bellarmine layups we've seen all game.
Bellarmine cuts so much, and different guys receive the ball off those cuts. It just seems like it's Justin Betts a lot.
And with this motion, Bellarmine has 7 guys averaging 7-8 points a game.
Cozart fouled, rolling to the rim. Balance for both teams this year. That's helped them to be very successful to this point. That 9-12 record for Bellarmine deceiving with the non-conference schedule they play. But Cozart has been very active since the early stages of this game.
He does everything. 46 blocks on the year, one of the leading shot blockers, one of the best offensive rebounders. Tonight he's stepping up, almost averages double figures, and not really a great free throw shooter at 50%. And his strokes look good. He's made 3 in a row.
Western Kentucky transfer, barely played over 3 years. Isaiah Cozart for Eastern Kentucky. A.W. Hamilton said over the summer he started to find his love and passion for the game again. He had lost that, and he has been fantastic this year. Hof misses from the top of the key.
It's a great look for Bellarmine, though. They attacked the pressure, attacked the press, flipped it around for a wide open 3.
Pass inside for Robb. Creates some space, steps back. Cozart there, reaching over the top of Hof and draws the foul.
He's establishing himself early in this second half.
Oh, yeah. Nick Bellarmine had 4 offensive rebounds early in the game. They led 4-0 on the offensive glass. The last 7 offensive rebounds have gone to Eastern Kentucky. Why do you think that is?
It's a great question. I think we're looking at it right now. That's the reason, Mr. Cozart.
Right.
Because I think he's got about probably 6 of them.
Very long 6'7". Those long arms, good anticipation, plays a lot bigger than he actually is, and he has been fantastic tonight.
That's just much better for Bellarmine, breaking the press. Just pass your point guard and go.
Betts finds himself wide open. Ducked that head and bulldogged his way to the rim. 3-point lead for Eastern Kentucky on the road. Comer with 10 points in the first half. Almost got his shot back, but it's Betts on the ground.
This is just a huge game for both teams, too.
Can't have turnovers like that.
Bellermaine's looking to go above 500. EKU's looking to stay in the top 2 to 3, stay in that range. And then both these teams play again in 2 days. They play each other down at Richmond, Kentucky.
Yeah, conditioning's going to be tested over the next 3 days. Luckily, a short trip for both teams. Moreno from the wing. Moreno's first three. He can fill it up from downtown, too. Their top 3-point shooter this season hits his first from distance tonight. Finds its way to Betts. He got a three.
Great look there by Tipton. Sees Betts open cross court.
Betts with 14 points. His career high is 19. Improved scorer this year at 8 points per game. Barely scored last year. Moreno with 2 in a row.
I think if you ask me which side is the tempo going right now, I think it's favoring EKU right now.
They want to play fast and shoot threes. That's what we said off the top. And here we are. 6-point lead for the Colonels. 16 to go. Betts one-on-one with Comer.
It's a good look. You'll take that if you're Bellermaine. I think that's what Coach Davenport's saying there. It's a good look.
Big possession here. Moreno has the hot hand. Betts is hounding him. Moreno got 3 in a row. Betts fell and Moreno made him pay. Largest lead for Eastern Kentucky. Betts. No. You're right. This is EKU's pace. And here come the Colonels.
Great looks for Bellermaine.
Oh, Moreno. That was from 30 feet.
Look who got the offensive rebound.
Blanton. 12-point lead. All Colonels to start the second half. They want to shoot threes. They want to play fast. And they're doing that so far here in the second frame. Eastern Kentucky with its largest lead of the game by 12 after leading by just 1 at halftime. And they have used the 3 ball here to take a big lead, Nick.
I mean, Moreno hits 3 possessions in a row, hits 3 threes. He's a top 23-point shooter in the country in threes made. He makes over 3 a game. It's one game this year he made 11 in a game. The most this year by any player is 11, and it's him and one other person. They just kind of unleashed a fury there on Bellermaine. Almost 20 points. They only had 1 possession in the first 5 minutes where they didn't score. They missed 4 shots missed 5 shots, and they got 4 of the offensive rebounds and went to the line.
4 threes already in the second half. 5 minutes in, they had 4 threes all of the first half. What does Bellermaine have to do to get back in it?
Well, Bellermaine had good shots. They had good looks. Eastern had good looks, and Eastern just made more of them.
See if the Knights can start to knock down some of those open looks here.
If you're Bellermaine, you can't turn the ball over.
Almost did there. Hoth able to recover. What's the call?
I think it's a foul on Cooper Robb.
Man, he was hustling for that ball. Cooper Robb, Justin Betts, 2 players in the running for ASUN Defensive Player of the Year, and both were chasing that ball into the backcourt. Got another break here. Eastern Kentucky, 12-point lead, trying to move to 7-2 in ASUN play.
We've seen EKU drain some deep shots to start the second half here, but the Bellermaine coach is saying they're really getting beat on the offensive glass, saying they've really got to put a body on someone and finish that possession. They said they're not going to make every shot, but at least give you a chance, a second shot for those 2 points there. And of course, they want to keep an eye out for Moreno because he is red hot right now. Jack and Nick.
Yeah, the defensive glass for Bellermaine is always a point of emphasis going into any game, and especially in shoot-around. The message that was continually being relayed to Bellermaine players in shoot-around today, Nick, keep fighting, keep fighting. They know EKU is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, so we'll see if they keep fighting here in the second half.
Bellermaine's down 12 points. They're shooting 8% better from the field, and they're shooting 6% better than EKU from 3, and they're down 12 points. You're like, how's that happen? Well, it's because EKU has 8 more shots, because they got all those more offensive rebounds. They're forcing the Bellermaine into turnovers. But when the ball goes up, Bellermaine's making more shots than EKU. EKU is just getting more of them.
Late shot clock here for the Knights. Johnson leaves the 3 short, and Robb pulls it away. Colonels off to a great start in ASUN play this year. using their style for 6 wins. Moreno with 4 threes. All 4 threes for Michael Moreno in the second half. 15-point lead. Bellermaine's got to get something cooking here.
The hard thing is it's not on this end. It's on the other end where they got to get some stops.
Betts to Freem. Fouled and 1. Maybe that does it for Bellermaine to calm this EKU storm.
Yeah, that was a big possession there. Like you said, just try to settle down, get to the free throw line.
Alec Freem's had a nice game today with 9 points, 4 for 6 from the floor. Alec Freem always looks so calm when we see him play on game day. You're watching him practice, he can get pretty fiery, and Scotty continuously talks about his leadership as a senior for this team. Had to step in for Basher Wheeland when he went out with injury. They've needed him to score more as the season's gone on.
Absolutely. You know, grew up in a humongous program at Cincinnati at Moeller High School. Won multiple national high school championships there. Played with multiple D1 players, and you know, when he was a freshman, sophomore, he kind of took his time, was a little bit more passive. But when they need him, you know, he steps up and, you know, in double figures here already tonight.
That foul on Johnson sends Walker to the line. Leland Walker, one of those freshmen from Indianapolis, played his last year in Virginia at Hargrave Military Academy. That's where A.W. Hamilton coached for 7 years. So he had the connection automatically with A.W. Hamilton. Saw that Tayshawn Comer, his best friend from Indy, decided to go to EKU. He said, hey, I want to play with you. I want to play for this A.W. Hamilton guy, energetic coach, and along with Turner Buttrey, this is quite the freshman trio of guards.
Leland Walker might have the quickest first step I've seen this year.
He's made some explosive moves to the rim tonight.
I mean, that's EKU going into that was 10 for 10 from the free throw line. It's their first 2 misses. First one.
Ironically, he's one of their best free throw shooters, too. He's the one to miss. But EKU has struggled at the line this year at 63%, so we'll see if that starts to take place and plays a factor down the stretch.
Absolutely. And this game through almost 30 minutes has been a game of runs. Bellermaine started the first run. EKU knocked Bellermaine in the mouth, came back. Bellermaine made their run. EKU makes their run here the first half. Now it's Bellarmine's turn to make their run to see if they can come back and get this game close again.
3 cuts at the single digits. Tipton's been quiet. Here's Betts curling inside. Wide open for 2.
Great offense there by Bellermaine. Got that double ball reversal where they reversed it to either side of the court once. Got the defense chasing.
Knights trying to connect scores with stops. It's been tough against this EKU offense that averages 80 points a game.
Got the mismatch, see if they clear out for him.
Here's Yukamoto. Inside Capiti.
Good double by Bellermaine.
Betts almost ripped it away. Capiti, hook. Goes right to Blanton, missed the lay-in. And that's a shooting foul.
Looks like it was got Kurt Hof on the foul. I mean, Bellermaine at first thought they were going to have a steal. Then all of a sudden it's like, man, we want the jump ball called. Great defense there by Bellermaine, and then great extra effort again by EKU. Man, they're just, like you said, dogs on the boards. I mean, they're animals in there. You box them out, there's another one. It's the guard, it's the wings.
And Devontae Blanton doesn't get a lot of attention. Pretty quiet so far tonight with 9 points now. But 16 points a game for this junior from Macedonia, Ohio. Breakout year last year, first time as a starter. There's not a ton of articles about this guy. Pretty quiet, but he has been consistent, and he's been really good this year.
Absolutely, and they've needed his veteran leadership on this team with playing a couple young freshmen. You need guys that have been in the system 2, 3, 4 years.
Been a good mix of veterans, talented newcomers for this EKU team. Off to a 6-2 start in A-Sun play. Tipton lost it. Got it back.
Good look to skip it to the other side of the court.
5 to shoot. Tipton steps into a 3. Almost banked it in. Ho finds Free. Wide open lay-in.
feel like big possessions for Bellermaine just to stay close enough, or if they make a mini run. If you're Bellermaine, you just got to figure out how you can get defensive rebounds.
And Capiti's a bit shaken up near the EKU bench. That'll bring us to a media timeout. We'll keep tabs on Capiti as we move further down the stretch here. EKU up by 10 with about 12 to go. Eastern Kentucky's taking control here in the second half at Freedom Hall. Bellermaine shooting 35%, 7 threes so far tonight. Their trip to Tennessee, they shot just 14%, 2 for 27. Their worst three-point shooting performance in 5 years at Lipscomb. Nick Bellermaine just needs more threes at this point to keep pace with EKU.
Absolutely. EKU's played almost a little over 8 minutes. They've made 5 field goals this half, all 5 three-pointers. They haven't made a 2-point field goal this half. But when you go 5 for 8 and you shoot 63%, you're going to make a run.
1-point game at halftime. EKU's led by as many as 15.
So Bellermaine just got to figure out ways to get defensive rebounds.
Kozart stepped in the baseline there. He'll take the turnover.
Only the 4th turnover for Eastern. They played very under control. Even though they want to play fast, they don't just give the ball away.
That feels like a difference for them this year compared to last year.
100% agree. It's a different team, different control.
Shooter under control but stuffed. That was Yukamoto with the block. Here comes Walker. Outside Rob. You see so many times EKU turn a block into points. Here's Kozart.
Tough whenever it's offhand.
Strong contest from Hof.
Left it short.
That's trying to capitalize, cut it to single digits here as we move towards the 10-minute mark.
He's going to shoot that one.
Deep three. Johnson's been cold from downtown tonight. Had 2 in the first half, none since.
A.W. Hamilton was not too happy to see Ben Johnson get that look.
Yeah, he knows how well they can shoot. Bellermaine's been a streaky team this year. Cold in the second half tonight.
See if they get Walker here. ISO'd.
Deep 2. Got the shot they wanted. Bellermaine has some chances right now. Got to capitalize. Tipton on Kozart. Tipton tries a 3. Rattles in. Big 3 for Garrett Tipton. Bellermaine has sliced a 15-point lead down to 7.
First 3.
Betts took some contact there from Yukamoto. No call. Scott Davenport is beside himself.
I imagine they'll probably look at that one here and come over the timeout.
I guess they thought Betts flopped.
Yeah, I didn't see too much there. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it.
Tough shot there for Yukamoto. Not much of a shooter.
Feels like Bellermaine makes a 3 here. This place is going to get loud.
Betts working inside. Lays it in. Justin Betts on the drive has been fantastic tonight. And a timeout for EKU.
Moreno's getting ready to check back in, I think. He's hit 5 threes. All 5 threes in the second half been him. He took a 2-minute break, and it's like, hey, Coach Hamilton's like, go back in there.
His threes have been so big for Eastern Kentucky. And you're right, since he's been off the floor, it's been a different game. So what do you think of this call?
I think it's a no call.
For how physical this game has been at times, you're probably right.
I mean, Betts is just trying to get a call there. I don't blame him, but if I'm running down the court and he didn't raise his elbows or anything, he wasn't trying to set a screen. I think that was the right call to play on. And it actually worked out well for Bellermaine because they just came down, hit a 3 the possession before. They get the defense, get the stop, and they go down and get another bucket. So Bellermaine, I think, as much as they wanted an offensive foul call there, it was right in the way that this game played. You said it's been physical, and it has been. I think the refs have done a really great job of keeping it under control and keeping it about the players and not about the refs. We see so many times where it's ticky-tack fouls here or there. We haven't seen that at all tonight with these refs. They've done a great job.
Well-officiated game tonight, approaching the 9-minute mark. Kozart on the roll, has 2.
And Moreno comes in, first possession, hits 4 threes in the second half. 2 Bellermaine guys running at him, plays unselfish, gets a layup.
Spaces the floor so well for this team. Suter spinning, threw it right to Turner Buttrey. Turnovers have been killers for Bellermaine tonight. That was a tough transition three for Buttrey, but he can't shoot.
He can, but that's a green light right there, shooting that one.
For a freshman, too. 7-point lead for Eastern Kentucky.
I think the hard thing about that three is he didn't let any of his rebounders get underneath to go get the rebound. And they've been rebounding so well.
Suter had the size advantage. Buttrey muscled up well. Oh, another steal.
Back-to-back bad passes by Bellermaine. We said earlier, what was that number, about 13 for Bellermaine? I think that's 10 turnovers. They got to really tighten it up the last 8 minutes if they want to make a run.
Here's Comer. Big first half with 10 points.
Yeah, you just want to make him force a jumper.
Robb missed the corner three. Cozart reached right over the top. Now Comer. Off to Moreno. Second chances.
That's 100% the game. If Bellermaine rebounds or EKU doesn't get those, it's probably a tie game.
Big possessions right now for Bellermaine to stay connected. Suter leans in and scores.
Kind of muscled him there, using his 6'5" frame on the 6'1".
He does not look like a freshman. The way he uses his body inside.
He's not built like one either.
Coming off an ankle injury. Comer, blew past Hof, no, but Moreno the tip. Ever since he's been back in the game, EKU has been much more comfortable.
I think that's, hate to say it, where Bellermaine really wished they had Bash Whelan. You know, he was their power forward all year, goes down in the UK game, breaks his wrist. He's just another big body that can help him rebound, take the pressure off of Hof, because they're really playing four guards and Kurt Hof out there. So it just makes it tough when you're down a couple guys to be able to battle when you only got 6 guys really they've played tonight. But credit goes to EKU.
They're playing well.
Yeah. That's what they've been doing well all year. Rebounding, getting up and down.
Playing to their strengths. Top 20 in the country in offensive rebounding. Comer step back three. Rebound to Hof. 6.5 to play. Bellermaine down 9. Betts with 18 points to lead Bellermaine.
He'll be patient here.
Hook comes up short on Comer.
Good look. It was a good look for Bellermaine.
That one-on-one matchup with him and Comer, he's taken advantage of it most of the time. But a stop there for Comer. Clock winds under 6.
If I told you that Bellermaine shot 45% this half and EKU's only shot 36, would you believe me?
No, but here we are.
That's what offensive rebounding does.
Robb almost slipped. 3 to shoot. Steps back. Hits an open 3.
Because then when you do make one, they're even bigger.
That stumble may have freed Robb up. His second 3 gives him a 12-point lead. EKU has had Bellermaine at arm's length almost the entire second half, after leading by just 1 at halftime. Suter inside on Buttrey. Short, tip out to Tipton.
Should get a look at a 3 here.
It's Johnson. Hits this one. Timeout Bellermaine with 5:15 to go. Ben Johnson's third 3. Knights don't have a ton of time left, trying to rally against EKU late in this one. Look at the Bellermaine Arch over on Bellarmine University's campus. Knights down by 9 to Eastern Kentucky at Freedom Hall with just over 5 minutes to go. About the halfway point of the A-Sun season. 18-game conference slate. And Bellarmine's playing Eastern Kentucky 2 games in a row. They'll be in Richmond on Saturday. You can watch that game on ESPN+. Again, they'll play on the road in Richmond the next game. They're kind of used to this because that was the A-Sun format 2 years ago during the COVID season. You play the same team back-to-back days in the same spot.
Interesting. I've never, he said before the COVID year, I've never heard of that. But it is what it is.
You make a few adjustments here and there and hope for the best, I guess.
I mean, this has been a pretty even game. EKU's up by 9 right now. But, they came out and hit 6 early threes this half and kind of gave that just little bit of cushion and arm's length. Bellermaine had a big 3 there to bring it back to single digits, but I mean, for Bellermaine, if you want to come back or you think you have a chance to come back in this game, it's not going to be about how many points you score. It's going to be about how many defensive rebounds and stops you can get. Because they're getting stops and EKU's missing shots. They're only shooting 39% this half. But you can't get the rebound, and they're just laying it back up or getting fouled. EKU's 12 of 14 from the foul line. Bellermaine's 4 of 7. There's your game right there. That's 8 points.
Well, and circling back to the tempo conversation we had right off the top, EKU likes to play fast. Bellermaine likes to play slower in the 60s. Bellermaine is 0-9 this year when their opponent scores 70 points or more, and EKU's going to score 70 points tonight. So Bellermaine will have to defy that trend to rally and get the win.
Absolutely. I mean, hard to imagine EKU probably doesn't get to 80, but like I said, if Bellermaine wants to come back, they just got to get defensive rebounds. It's simple. It's easy to say, but hard to do.
This EKU offense been a handful tonight. Here's Blanton. Suter fell down. Kick out to Moreno. Had the hot hand. Feeds Comer. And Suter pulls it away. Moreno ties him up in the possession arrow with Bellermaine.
It's the right call. Kind of lost his balance a little bit there. Brought it down, and Moreno was right there to tie him up.
How good has Moreno been for A.W. Hamilton's team here?
I mean, he's a completely different person this half. We looked at the first half. He was 1 of 7 from the field. Kind of really didn't do much anything. The second half, he comes out and he's the best player on the floor. He makes 6 shots already, makes 4 threes. He's got an offensive rebound put back, gets a jump ball there. Complete difference maker from first half to second half.
Great guy on campus, SAC president, leader for this team, active in the community, kind of like the Justin Betts for Bellermaine, leading his team to a 9-point lead in the second half.
EKU jumps into a 2-3. It's only the second time we've seen this tonight out of them. Now they go back man off the second pass.
5 to shoot for Suter. Hits it off the fade. 7-point game with just over 4 to go.
Bellermaine's shooting well enough in this game. They're shooting 50%. To win this game, to be in this game, they just got to get offensive rebounds. I know I'm said the same thing over and over, but EKU hasn't made every shot tonight. It just feels like it because they've scored on every possession.
Comer off the drive. Blanton pulls up from the elbow. Off the heel. Hof has the rebound.
Now you're Bellermaine. You got to go. You want to go. You're in transition. Go right to the rim.
Approaching the 3.5 mark. EKU trying to stay in the hunt for first place in the conference. Bellermaine trying to get to 5 and 4 in ASUN play. 5 to shoot for Tipton. It's Suter. Got a 3. 4-point game.
A.W. Hamilton elects not to take a timeout. Under 4-minute timeouts coming next to that ball. Oh, he almost went over and back.
This crowd is loud.
It's a foul.
Big collision. Suter called for the foul. Looks like we're shaping up for a heck of a finish. Eastern Kentucky up by 4 with just over 3 to go. Knights on the rally, down by as many as 15. Suter bringing them back. Knights coming back here. Students are fired up about it. Down by as many as 15. They've cut it to 4 off a Pete Suter 3. He was just called for a foul before the break, so it'll be EKU basketball. But you said it, Nick. Bellermaine's shooting well enough to be in this game. It's all about the defensive glass for them.
Absolutely. They were down 9 coming out of that timeout, and they get, score 5 straight there. They get 2 defensive rebounds. It's like I said, it's easy to say, it's hard to do, especially, long rebounds. You're going to be, if you're Bellermaine, Eastern Kentucky's more athletic. They jump better, and if you don't put a body on them, they're going to get the rebound 9 out of 10 times. So you better put a body on them if you expect to get a call or get the rebound.
Scott Davenport still didn't like that call on Suter with a collision at half court just before the break. And Suter has 4 fouls now, but he's still out there for Bellermaine with 3:08 to go.
You got to ride him. He's a hot hand. He's already got a double-double tonight. Except for Bellermaine, you just got to get defensive rebounds. You got a mismatch inside.
Betts is guarding Kozar.
That's one of your 6-year seniors really got to box out the best defender.
Blanton, tough shot, left it short. Suter has his 11th rebound.
I think Bellermaine just yelling, go.
They can cut it to one possession here.
See if Bellermaine's going to run any set plays here, just run their patented move and get open.
Suter on the post up.
Got him.
Tipton. Air ball for a 3. But it leaks out, and Hope tips it to Freem. Betts got to get it off. Missed it.
Two pretty good looks for Bellermaine. They'll take that. Your leading scorer on the year gets a halfway decent look. Wasn't a best look, but it was one where he's capable of making that shot.
They've contained him pretty well tonight. Just 7 points for Tipton.
They have the mismatch here on side again.
Big possession right now, and a foul
That's
on Suter. He is out of the ball game.
That's might be the first call I might disagree with here with the refs. Kind of played pretty aggressive all game for a.
That is huge because he has rebounded so well tonight.
Yeah. I won't harp on it too much, but yeah, that was. I don't know. We can see the replay and see what they got there, but it's just a big. Bellermaine being shorthanded, really only playing with 6 guys today in their rotation. You know, they have Landon Hacker and Landon Hatton played a couple minutes tonight, but really they've been playing with 6. I mean, he put his hand on top. I mean,
he didn't even grab him. He just kind of touched his pec.
Yeah.
That's a tough call to send Suter out of the game, and Ben Johnson will play for him down the stretch.
I get it. I mean, by the letter of the law, putting hands on contact, the flow of motion, but it hasn't been called like that all game. They've kind of let him play a little bit.
But here we go, Nick. Free throw shooting, 1-and-1. And Moreno drills it. Free throw shooting, a big reason why EKU leads right now. 13 for 15 at the line, and Bellermaine's 4 for 7. Off the heel. Moreno got it back. Adds 2 more.
That's a backbreaker right there. You did so well the last 5 minutes of your Bellermaine containing him.
Johnson off the back cut, answers. That would have made it a 3-point game if Bellermaine got the rebound.
Heads up play by Moreno. We said it all. He's been the difference maker this half. If you're EKU, you still got to go and score. I know you want to go out time, but you're used to playing fast. You're used to playing free. Get downhill and get to the rim and send your guys to the offensive boards.
Blanton's been the guy to take it late
going to
in
the
games. Finds Comer, steps back for 3. Johnson has it. Just over a minute to go.
Bellermaine's going to look for a pick and pop here.
Massive possession for Bellermaine.
There it is. Oh, that was for Hope.
It's Tipton. Got it!
I don't think Bellermaine, if you're Bellermaine, you don't foul who. You just play it straight and you try to get a stop. You're going to get the ball with 25 seconds left, 30 seconds left plus. You get a stop, you got a timeout. You just got to buckle down here and get a stop. UKU, I don't know, they've been pretty balanced. I like this call by A.W. Hamilton. He had 2 timeouts left. Crowd's into it. You know, if you're A.W. Hamilton, I completely agree with the timeout there. Get the crowd quiet and get your guys and get in the play you want. With only 14 seconds left, they weren't in anything there. They were just dribbling at the top of the key.
Got to give a ton of credit to Bellermaine. So many times in the second half, they could have gone away, but here they are with a chance.
Yeah, offensively, said it all game. Bellermaine shooting 51% from the field. EKU shooting 40. You know, but it's sometimes it's not about how well you shoot it. It's about the other things. EKU's done all the little things right today. They have 4 turnovers. Bellermaine has 9. They've hit 13 of 16 free throws for 81%. Bellermaine's 4 of 7 for 57. They've had 12 offensive rebounds. Bellermaine's 7. So it's not just about putting it in. It's all the little things on the stat book tonight that EKU's done to have this 2-point advantage late. But I mean, we've had what Coach Davenport said at halftime. These are 2 great teams in a great conference this year going at it. and both teams they're playing their tails off tonight.
The last close game Bellermaine had, decided by single digits, was here against Queens, and they lost by 1. So similar type feel down the stretch here.
Was that 8 games ago?
It was a long time
I think
ago.
it was the first game of conference, the second game of conference, right after they played Liberty.
Third, actually.
Yeah.
Third, but the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games decided by double figures. They haven't been in this position in a while. You see they haven't led since early in the first half, just clawing their way back in. It comes down to them getting a stop and a score.
Can't say enough here. You got to get a stop and box out.
10 to shoot. Blanton cut off. 5 seconds. Blanton.
He walked.
Traveled. You called it.
He wouldn't have walked, but he didn't land on 2 feet. He landed on a 1-2. And after he took the step, if he took the step and jump shot, he would have got away with it, and he would have had about a 5-footer. It's the right call.
Just under 30 seconds left. The shot clock's off. EKU continuing to press. Bellermaine trying to move to 5-4 in A-Sun play.
EKU's got 3 fouls to give. They're going to start fouling here.
20 seconds.
Let's see when it gets to about 12 seconds. They're going to give a foul. They're going to give one.
15 seconds. Bellermaine's running this down, and Comer fouled him. Yes. 10.8 to go.
They can do that 2 more times. Now here, Bellermaine, this is some of the crazy things. You almost run this to be able to get a shot right off the 3. Right off the out-of-bounds play, and see if they foul you. At least pump fake it. That way you can get into it.
EKU's going to take away anything good that Bellermaine has going to the rim with a foul. 11 seconds left. Tough inbound. It's Tipton.
You give the other foul right there.
6.5.
Now here's the curious part. You do another one. I think if you do it, you got to do it almost on the catch.
That's 5 fouls.
Bellermaine's going to take a timeout here.
It's tough because they have to score on this possession now. You've given yourself no margin for error, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, by the time you get the shot up, there won't be enough time left. You might be able to foul with 2 seconds left, but it's this possession or a miracle. But EKU defended this possession. I mean, kudos to EKU. We said it. Bellermaine got the ball back with 30 seconds left. Bellermaine kind of hold it for the last shot. And EKU executed and playing the foul game. If you have them left, it's great when you're winning, but you just got to be careful right here that if you foul, that he's not shooting. Because if I'm Bellermaine, I must draw something up right here to get a shot right off the bounce.
In this position, it almost forces you to take a 3 or a jump shot right off the catch because they can foul you if you have a lane to the rim.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised they draw something up where they got Ben Johnson or somebody coming off. Even if you're not shooting it right away, if he fouls, you can get into your shot right away and make the ref make a difficult call if you were shooting or not. This is where it gets really tight if you're going to use this extra foul. Because you can lose the game on this if you foul a second too late. And how many freshmen does EKU got out there right now? They only got one of their freshmen. I would say half the game they've played 3 freshmen. And you're putting freshmen in really tough situations late game on the road. They got a lot of their veterans in. They only have 1 freshman in.
It's a sideline inbound for Bellermaine with 6.5. Knights have no timeouts left. 1 foul to give for EKU. Freem to Hof. Here's Freem. Freem, Tipton to the lead. Got it!
I think they're going to put a little time back on the clock. I think they're going to probably put about 0.4 back on the clock. Whoa!
Garrett Tipton, 5th-year senior, with the shot of his career.
Well, we got 0.4, less than that, 0.2. Oh, 0.2. That's my guess. What's your guess, Jack?
0.4.
0.4. Man,
he hits the 3 to make it a 2-point game. coming down to the wire, drills it again. What more can you say about it?
Oh, man.
Tough game tonight, too.
Yep. That's what I think.
Refs confirm they're checking the time. By the time it goes through the net, it's 0.4, 0.3.
I mean, this game's been all about runs. I mean, this has been a whale of a ball game. Funny thing is, these teams play each other in tip-off in about 45 hours. They see each other again in Richmond, Kentucky, 2-hour drive down there. And I will say, kudos to Eastern Kentucky's fans. The entire section behind me is all Eastern Kentucky fans. So I always want to give props to teams that travel well. And this is about as good as we've seen from a visiting club here at Freedom Hall.
What a game. Bellermaine down 15 in the second half. How many games like this have they had over the last 2 years where it feels like they've lost?
A lot. They had it at Queens earlier this season. Queens.
Miami, Ohio, same situation. Late lead. Ended up not getting the win. Kennesaw State last year down the stretch.
Oh, what? I think they said 0.2 on the clock.
Wow, 0.2. So that is not enough time to catch and shoot. They have to go the full length of the court with a pass and then tip it up and in.
Bellermaine's just going to put all their guys in the stand up in the lane. Yeah, it's a tough loss if you're EKU.
Barring a miracle here. Tough way to lose at Freedom Hall. And they've got Langdon Hatton, 6'10", off the bench to defend the inbound.
You just got to make sure if you're Bellermaine, you don't foul.
Moreno with the chuck. Kozar got the tip, but that's it. Knights down 15 in the second half. And Garrett Tipton, with the shot of his life, gives Bellermaine the win. 72-71 the final.
Wow. You'd say we wanted a close game. You know, Bellermaine the last 4 or 5 games, they've either won by 20 or lost by 20, and we finally got a good one. And that's a big boost for Bellermaine. Instead of dropping to 4 and 5 in the conference, they go 5 and 4, and kind of that's that momentum. They've won a couple home games in a row now, and you don't have any time to rest your laurels here when you go to play the team that you just beat on a last-second buzzer beater in 45 hours. Wow.
Five and 4 in the A-Sun in a loud way. What a comeback win.
And what do we say? You know, EKU wants to play at 80 and Bellermaine wants to play at 65. We split the difference.
Their first win allowing 70 or more points this year, and Olivia Russell's with Scott Davenport.
Well, Coach, playing from behind for most of that game, but what a time to go on top at the last second there. How's your heart doing?
It's exploding with pride. Now, pride and happiness, pride in this basketball program, happiness for every single player, manager, coach, everybody. It is happiness. I told you at halftime, Olivia, that is 2 really, really good basketball teams playing. That was one heck of a college basketball game. This league is incredible. And I'm proud, I'm happy, I am.
And you've got them in 2 days now. How do you prepare for them?
Olivia, can I at least have the walk from here up, please?
I'll let you have it. Great game, Coach.
Yeah, he's got to enjoy this one for at least a few minutes. Wow. What a game. 72-71 the final. And Nick, from start to finish, we had runs, we had offense, we had defense. Tipton with a quiet game in the first half, but hit the biggest 2 shots of his life late.
It's amazing. And I know Coach Davenport, that shot goes in or out. You know, you say you're going to be just as happy after the game. One shot just makes it. That's where the college basketball, these coaches go crazy. Coach A.W. Hamilton, if that shot doesn't go in, he's the happiest guy in the gym. That shot goes in, Bellermaine goes in, they're celebrating, going crazy.
They pulled this one out. In-state rivals. If Saturday's game is as good as this one, whew, you're in for a show. Knights down 15. They rally all the way back. Drop Eastern Kentucky to 6-3 in ASUN play. Bellermaine moves to 5-4 in ASUN action. And the winner from Tipton